Stop chasing women. Brother, listen to me. Really listen. How many nights have you sat alone, your heart heavy, your soul restless, wondering why the love you give never gets returned? How many times have you poured your energy into someone who barely gave you a second thought? You weren't born to beg for attention. You weren't made to chase someone who runs every time you get close. That pain in your chest, it's the ache of potential being wasted. You have a fire in you, raw, untapped power. And every moment you spend chasing someone who doesn't see your worth, you bury that fire deeper. Stop trying to earn validation from someone else. You are not a dog chasing approval. You are a man meant to build, to conquer, to lead. Let them come to you once you've built your kingdom. Become undeniable. Focus on your grind, your body, your mind, your mission. Let success make the noise and women will follow. But by then you'll know your worth. You'll choose, not chase. You'll command, not plead. Because when a man stops chasing women, he starts chasing greatness. And that's where real power lives. There is a deep truth most men never understand until it's too late. The path to true fulfillment lies not in the pursuit of temporary pleasures, but in the relentless commitment to purpose. Every day, distractions are thrown at you like bait. Parties, lust, validation from women, dopamine hits from your phone, shallow praise from people who don't matter. And if you're not grounded in your mission, you will chase every one of those fleeting highs and never build anything of value. You'll wake up 10 years from now with regrets instead of results, with memories of pleasure instead of monuments of purpose. A man who truly knows his mission doesn't have time to be sidetracked by emotions that don't serve him. That doesn't mean he's cold or emotionless. It means he's selective. He guards his energy like a warrior guards his life. He knows the difference between what feels good now and what builds a legacy. Temporary feelings are like storms, loud, intense, but passing. Purpose is the mountain that doesn't move. When you operate from purpose, you're not shaken by heartbreak. You're not destroyed by rejection. You don't crumble when people don't see your worth. You keep moving because your mission matters more than their opinion. Look around you. The men who lead, who inspire, who dominate are not the ones who chased pleasure. They sacrificed it. They woke up earlier. They stayed disciplined. They said no to the easy path. They worked when others partied. They built when others chased. Why? Because they saw a vision bigger than their emotions. A man with purpose is dangerous because he's not easily seduced. He doesn't give in to weakness because he knows that every time he lets pleasure win, he gives power away. Every moment spent chasing what feels good is a moment stolen from what truly matters. Most men fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they trade what they want most for what they want now. Pleasure will always whisper to you. It will always promise ease, comfort, attention, a moment of satisfaction, but it never lasts. It never fulfills. It's a trap that leaves you emptier than before. Purpose, on the other hand, is demanding. It doesn't come easy. It asks for sweat, sacrifice, discipline, patience, but it rewards you with pride, power, and peace that pleasure never can. You need to ask yourself, who do you want to be? The man who scrolls and fantasizes? The man who chases women who don't even respect him? Or the man who builds a life so powerful that others chase him? You were not born to be ordinary. You were not made to follow. You were meant to lead. But leadership demands that you master your impulses. You must become the kind of man who delays gratification, who sees the long game, who acts based on values, not urges. That's the man who wins. That's the man who is remembered. You need to wake up every day and remind yourself why you started. You have goals to crush, a future to shape, a legacy to build. You don't have time to chase pleasure when greatness is calling your name. You don't have energy to waste on people who don't see your worth. You are a builder, a leader, a king in the making. And kings don't chase, they create. They elevate, they dominate. So stop letting your temporary feelings steer your life. Stop letting loneliness push you into weak choices. Stop letting lust steal your focus. None of it is worth the regret. Focus on becoming the kind of man who commands respect without ever needing to ask for it. Let your mission fuel you. Let your grind become your therapy. Let your future become more exciting than any distraction. Because here's the truth. Once you build yourself, once you become a man of substance, the things you used to chase will start to chase you. Women will notice, people will respect, the world will respond differently, but by then, you'll be too focused to care. You'll be too grounded in your purpose to be swayed by temporary emotion. And that's when you'll know. You didn't lose anything by saying no to pleasure. You gained everything. Most men spend their lives looking outward, chasing approval, chasing affection, chasing validation from people who don't even value themselves. They wake up and immediately reach for distractions, scrolling through social media, comparing their lives to filtered fantasies. They waste energy wondering why they don't have the woman, the car, the money, the respect, but they never stop to ask the real question. What have I built? Who have I become? You want the world to reward you, but what have you earned? What have you created that demands respect? The truth most men don't want to hear is that no one is coming to save you. No woman, no job, no lucky break is going to show up and magically transform your life. That's your responsibility. And until you understand that, you'll stay stuck chasing things instead of becoming someone. This world respects power. It respects value. And value doesn't come from your words, it comes from your habits, your discipline, your results. You don't get to call yourself a man of value just because you say you are. You prove it daily, in silence, when no one's watching. Becoming a man of value isn't about being liked, it's about being respected. And respect starts with self-respect. You can't expect the world to take you seriously when you don't even take yourself seriously. When you sleep in every day, when you break your own promises, when you waste your time chasing women who don't respect you, what are you saying about your standards, about your future? You're saying your time, your energy, your life is up for negotiation. And that's why life doesn't reward you. Because the man who doesn't protect his value doesn't get to keep it. Building yourself is painful. It requires sacrifice. You're going to have to walk alone. You're going to have to say no to comfort, no to distractions, no to the voices in your head that tell you to quit. You're going to lose people who don't align with your growth, but guess what? That's the cost of evolution. Not everyone gets to come with you. And that's okay. Because the version of you who's chasing pleasure is not the man who builds empires. He's not the man who creates, who leads, who commands respect. That version of you has to die. And the man you're meant to become, he's forged in fire. When you stop chasing and start building, your entire life changes. You begin to walk differently. You speak with more weight. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't deserve your time. You become dangerous, not because you're violent, but because you're focused, because you're disciplined, because you're not easy to shake. That's what real masculinity is. It's not loud. It's not boastful. It's calm, controlled, and unstoppable. That kind of presence doesn't need to chase women. It doesn't need to beg for validation. It attracts everything through the gravity of who it has become. So build your body, not for attention, but for discipline. Train it to obey. Build your mind. Feed it books, wisdom, silence. Train it to focus. Build your character. Stand on your word. Follow through. Don't flinch when things get hard. Do the right thing when no one is looking. That's the foundation of greatness. That's the kind of man who doesn't need to chase anything because everything he needs is being magnetized to him through his actions. The irony is when you finally stop obsessing over women, over attention, over approval, when you redirect that energy into yourself, you become the kind of man who naturally attracts those things. But by then, you don't even need them the same way. You've outgrown the desperation. You've matured past the illusion that someone else can complete you. You've become complete on your own. And now you choose who to allow into your life from a place of power, not need. It's not that women are the enemy. It's not that pleasure is bad. It's that when you make them the goal, you lose your edge. You become soft, distracted, lost. But when you make yourself the goal, when you build a life that's strong, disciplined, and purpose-driven, everything starts to align. Opportunities show up. Respect follows. The right relationships appear. Not because you begged for them, but because you became the man who was ready for them. So let the world sleep in. Let them chase likes and lust. You wake up earlier, train harder, read deeper, work longer, build you. Because the man who builds himself first doesn't just win, he becomes unstoppable. He's no longer pulled by the world, he pulls the world toward him. And in that space of strength, you don't just attract success, you deserve it. And that makes all the difference. Every day you wake up, you're given a limited amount of energy. Mental, emotional, physical. That energy is your currency. It's your life force. And yet most people waste it on things and people that bring absolutely no return. They hand it out carelessly, arguing with people who will never understand them, chasing approval from those who don't value them, and constantly giving pieces of themselves to those who only take. That's why they stay stuck. That's why they feel empty, drained, bitter, lost. because they haven't learned the power of protecting their energy. You have to realize that your energy is sacred. It fuels your dreams, your discipline, your focus, your growth. Every second you spend entertaining people who drain you, distract you, or disrespect you is a second stolen from the future you're trying to build. That girl who only calls you when she's bored, that friend who mocks your goals, that circle that laughs when you choose the gym over a party, cut them off. Not with anger, not with drama, but with silence and distance. You don't need to explain your elevation. If they wanted to grow, they would have joined you. Start asking yourself, does this person give me energy or do they take it from me? Because if someone's presence leaves you feeling smaller, weaker, or more confused about who you are, that's your answer. Energy isn't just about motivation or excitement. It's about peace. It's about clarity. The right people bring you calm. They challenge you to rise. They celebrate your wins. They hold you accountable. The wrong people, they manipulate, they distract, they compete, they drain. And if you keep them around, don't be surprised when your life reflects their chaos. You don't owe anyone access to your energy just because of shared history. Just because someone's been in your life for years doesn't mean they've earned the right to stay in your life as you evolve. Loyalty is not slavery. There comes a point where you have to choose between keeping others comfortable and honoring your future. And that's not selfish, because the life you want, the discipline, the health, the wealth, the power, won't be built around people who keep you stuck in the same cycles. It's not just about people either. Look at your habits. Look at how you spend your free time. How much of your energy is wasted on mindless scrolling, on arguments with strangers online, on distractions that keep you numb but never fulfilled? You keep saying you don't have time to build your dream, but you have hours for everyone else's drama, everyone else's highlight reel, everyone else's approval, and that's the trap. You get so wrapped up in other people's stories that you forget to write your own. It's time to unplug, time to step back, time to recenter. Your energy needs to be invested in things that grow you. Read books that stretch your thinking. Train your body until it obeys your mind. Work on your business, your craft, your purpose. Build a routine that makes you feel strong, sharp, and grounded. Create habits that feed your future, not just your feelings. Because when you start investing in you, you begin to attract better people, better results, better opportunities. Not because you were chasing them, but because you became the person who naturally draws them in. Understand this clearly. There is no shame in outgrowing people. Not everyone is meant to go where you're headed, and some of them will resent you for it. They'll call you cold, selfish, arrogant. Let them. That's the price of protecting your energy. You don't need to apologize for choosing growth. You don't need to dim your light to make others feel safe in their shadows. If your ambition makes someone uncomfortable, that's their problem, not yours. This world is already full of men who gave their energy away to the wrong things. Look around. Men who are physically present, but emotionally empty, mentally broken, spiritually disconnected. They chased women, parties, gossip, distractions, and now they have nothing left. Don't let that be you. You were born to lead, to build, to conquer, but that requires a full tank. It requires you to protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. And here's the truth. The more you respect your energy, the more others will too. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. When you start saying no to nonsense, no to low standards, no to drama, the world starts noticing. You're no longer the man who gets pulled in every direction. You become a force, calm, focused, intentional. And in that space, you rise. Not through noise, not through chasing, but through discipline and direction. So protect your energy like a warrior guards his sword. Don't waste it on people who don't clap for you. Don't waste it on relationships that confuse you more than they ground you. Don't waste it on temporary feelings that sabotage permanent progress. Invest it into your future self, the man who has clarity, power, peace, purpose, because that man is waiting. And he's built by every moment you choose focus over distraction, growth over comfort, legacy over likes. That man is forged in fire, and he's fueled by energy that's guarded like gold. Be that man. In the end, your energy is your power. Pure, limited, and priceless. Every moment you spend giving it away to people who don't value it is a moment stolen from your purpose. You weren't born to be drained, distracted, or defeated. You were born to build, to lead, to rise. But none of that happens until you decide that your peace, your focus, and your future matter more than fitting in or pleasing others. Stop watering dead plants. Stop lighting yourself on fire to keep others warm. The man you want to become is built in silence, in solitude, and in strength. When you start respecting your energy, everything changes. Your circle tightens, your standards rise, your goals sharpen. You stop chasing and you start attracting. People may not understand it. They may even resent it. Let them. That's their story. Yours is about growth, discipline, and legacy. So protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Every great man became who he is by choosing focus over distraction, peace over chaos, and purpose over